Hello, everybody. This is Bridging Realms with Melody Pash, and this is my team, Jill and Darla, and we are here to share a dream. We have a funny dream today, don't we, girls? It's a funny one. It's like a two-liner.
Yes, it is.
It's a two-liner. It should be fun. Those are the funny ones because we always laugh. The students always say, "Oh, good, it's going to be a short one," and then Darla will say something like, "Yeah, but it's really meaty." So those always go deep, don't they?
They do.
The two-liners, the little two-liners. So this funny dream is called. Let's see, what do we call this dream? I can't find it now. Oh, sleeping with your head on the paper. And it is very, very, very short. So basically the dream is this. This was, by the way, a retreat dream. So this was like last week while we were, or 2 weeks ago, whatever, when we were on a retreat. And so the dreamer says, we were in this dining room. So during the retreat, excuse me, and Melody asks this student, "How did you sleep?" And the student answers, "I didn't sleep well. I peed all night, and my pillow was a sheet of paper." That's the dream. That's the dream. I was like, okay. So, yeah, we always wake up first thing. We're ready to process dreams, go through all the dreams, because we usually have strategy there. Well, this dream doesn't sound like much, but it was definitely strategy for us. And so we like to always go through everything and make sure that we know what's going on. So, because it's so interesting. You look at something like this, and this is one of those dreams that would be really, really, really easy to just poo-poo and say, that can't possibly mean anything. And then when you get it in context, it's always very interesting. So in the dining room, we're in the dining room that we were in at the retreat, which means we're all seated around the dining room table processing dreams, and the dining room is about fellowship and interaction, relationship, and all of that, right? And then I ask what I always ask: how'd everybody sleep? And this dreamer said, "I didn't sleep. I peed all night, and my pillow was a sheet of paper." That was the dream. I peed all night, and my pillow was a sheet of paper. So, what do you think, girls? This is an interesting one.
Well, it's pretty funny. And they were very busy that night. I think there was more than one person, too, that had that same problem.
Yeah.
Where
they were fighting over the bathroom in the middle of the night. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So, anyway, yeah. So anyway, well, sleep is a time when the Lord speaks to you too. There's a reference in Job that says that when men are sleeping, the Lord comes in a vision of the night or a dream and talks to you, and it's in your ear. So that would be part of what was going on. Yeah, and so anyway, they were having some action going on in the night. In the dream, it was peeing, and that happens to be releasing of the spirit, where the spirit is talking to you.
Expressing, expressing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and was expressing all night long. So, and our dreams, we have so much action, but activation in our dreams as well. So to be releasing all night long is very interesting because, when you're trying to rest, when you're trying to sleep and you feel like you need to pee, it's like, how many times do we say, "Oh, I can wait a little longer. Oh, if I could just sleep, I could wait a little longer. I could wait." And then we wind up waiting a long time, and then it's a run to the restroom sometimes. But that release of the water that we took in during the day, it has to cycle and be released. And the night, that's where the mysteries are, right? That's the mysteries of God. That's where the mysteries are happening. And the word talks about the mysteries of God and how he wants to share those with us. And sometimes the peeing or the release, I think, is a wake up call. It's like, wake up and spend that time with me so that I can tell you about my mysteries. I can tell you about those things that you know not of, you don't know anything about. That Jeremiah 33:3. Call unto me, and I will show you great and mighty things you have not known. And I think that happens in the night when it's quiet, when we're focused on rest and our minds are not busy, and we can engage with the Lord in a different way, but we can also encounter Him in that place of release in a different way as well. What do you think, Darla?
Well, my initial thought was, what was she expressing? What, is, if it's like, not in the middle of the night and in sleeping time, but in waking time, that spirit has done its work, and is ready to be expressed or poured out, whether it be,
Good.
his words, or, but it seems like in the night, like you said, when he comes, it's more of a receiving time, or he shows us strategy time, and so, you ask, well, what is she supposed to express? And I don't want to jump ahead, but the paper, the pillow, it is immediate. She didn't have to sit there and say, "Oh Lord, what the heck? What are you making me go to the bathroom 50 times a night for?" Which, not that he is, but he obviously is keeping her awake. But I believe during that time, he's expressing what is used up and preparing the way for what's next. Even as near as that pillow that's a paper, there's quite a lot that we could talk about for that pillow. I don't want to jump ahead though. Is everybody good where they are?
Well, excuse me. I'm sorry. Well, also, I want to go back to what you were saying, which is about the processing, that processing through what the Spirit has put in you. What if some of that is also processing what the Lord has been working in us, developing in us, because your kidneys or your bladder, those are filters, right?
Mhm.
Those are filters. So whatever gets processed gets, removes and releases to the toxins and all of that stuff that move through your body, those things which you no longer need. So those are filtering systems. And then when they release it, it is like part of the process where the Lord is working through areas of your life where He's bringing healing or deliverance. And I know we think of, the big job as deliverance in the bathroom, but really, the urination can also be a level of deliverance because that has cycled through the body and filtered through and is releasing what the body doesn't need to hold on to. So there's also that side of it where we're processing what the Lord has been trying to work out of us. You know how you will, drink a bunch of coffee in a day and you go to the bathroom and your pee smells just like coffee. It's going to filter out whatever has come in, and it's going to remove the nutrients. The body should be keeping the nutrients and releasing the residue of what's left over, right? The refuse, that which your body does not need or does not utilize. So there's that sense of the release as well, where we are releasing that which we are no longer needing. So I think since it's also related to the school, and it was at a school retreat, that could also relate, and that could also make sense. And where the sleep, sometimes your sleep is a place of not so much ignorance, but you know how humankind will sometimes say ignorance is bliss. It's fine that I don't know something. Sometimes I'm better off not knowing something so that I can just rest, so that it's not on my mind all the time. And so I think there's something there as well, where the sleep is a place where you don't have to deal with things, and that's why you keep getting woken up. It's like, but this needs to be dealt with and released. And this is where that flow comes in. It's like, now's the time to release this. Now's the time to release this. Release this now, after it's processed through the body. So we can also look at that in a very corporate way, where it even relates to the body of Christ and even the nation, where right now we are processing things, information, data, intel, actions, that we're just not sure what to do with. And we're going to have to take the parts that nourish us, and we're going to have to release all the rest and let that flow out of us. Otherwise, if it stays in us, you can get, all kinds of issues, UTIs. You hold all that stuff in, you get UTIs, you can get bladder infections, you can get nephritis, you can get really bad things going on within those organs because the toxins are not released. And that's as much for the body of Christ as it is for us individually and for the school. If we don't release those things, they're going to cause trouble. And we were talking about this last week, but Jill had talked about the filtering and the filtering system at one of the other retreats, where she was talking about the air filter in vehicle and how it catches all of the contaminants. And if those things don't get dealt with and released, then that filter becomes blocked. And once it gets blocked, then your body is in trouble. The whole body is in trouble. The body of Christ, individually, the nation, if we cannot release. So it's as true for large scale corporate as it is for individuals and for the school. There's actually a lot there, right? Yes, it's the Holy Spirit going in and then and being released. That's like a release even of ministry. It's allowing that water to wash though and release those things which are contaminants, just like Jill was talking about with the contamination in the air filter. It has to wash out, and that's why when we're processing even what the Holy Spirit has been talking to us about, we have to release. So sometimes that's in forms of ministry, but sometimes it's just in processing with the Lord, and sometimes it's about a release in healing, cleansing, deliverance, and all of that is sort of encompassed in that one very small statement. I peed all night long. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't rest. And that's where the nation is. Couldn't rest because I'm so full of toxicity that my emotions are all involved and I'm so wound up and I don't know how to release it. And I'm listening to everything that's coming to me on social media, and everybody's saying something different, and lots of people are saying it's the end of the world, and Jesus is coming tomorrow, and which that'd be great. But all of these things are going on, and people are trying to process all of this information, all this data, all this intel, and they can't. They're having trouble processing. And so I think that's part of what the Lord is saying is you're going to have to wake up and you're going to have to release. Wake up and release, because you don't want to release while you're still in the bed. That's going to be a rude awakening. It's going to be warm for about 2 seconds, and then it's going to be very pissy. There's a pun for you. You're not going to like it. You won't like it because it's going to be warm for a minute. Your body will go, ah, and then, yeah. And then you're up. You are up. I got to tell a funny story really, really quickly in the middle of this. When I was in South Africa, and I lived over there for 6 months, I was in the Cape, and it was one of the worst winters they had had in 40 years. And it was so cold. And the wind blows really, really hard in the Cape, as you guys know. And it rains during the winter, which is summer. Our summer is their winter. But it rains and rains and rains, and it's cold. It's cold air, cold rain. It is not fun. There's nothing fun about it. And it rains sideways like it does because of the wind, like it does in Texas. And one night I was in my guest house. Excuse me. I was in my guest house, and I was sleeping with a water bottle, hot water bottle, that was wrapped in this little pillowcase that's fluffy and fuzzy, and I was all warm and all comfortable in this very cold place because there wasn't a heater. And I was sleeping so soundly. And in the middle of the night, suddenly warm water is everywhere. And then I wake up and realize that water bottle cracked open, and all of the hot water came out in my bed in the middle of the night, and I had to get up and blow everything dry with a hairdryer. That took about an hour and a half. Yeah.
Wow.
Rude awakening.
Yeah, for sure.
Rude awakening. Yeah. So anyway, it's funny now, but it wasn't at the time.
Yeah. Jeez.
So cold. I was standing with a light and my hairdryer trying to dry the mattress. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Anyway, so that release. Yeah, we got to have that release, right? Can't you guys think of, times even in the school where we get so full, and then there's like a mixture with the new students, they'll come in, and then there's this sort of mixture. And we have to get through that first semester or two where the stuff starts coming to the top that needs to be released, needs to be skimmed off. This dream reminds me of that as well. It's like all of that sort of mixes in together, and then you realize, oh, there's some stuff in there that needs to be filtered out, and it's going to have to be released. And I think that's where we are. We can't sleep through it. We can't be comfortable through it. We've got to wake up, go and release it, which is something that is very intentional. I have to decide I'm going to release that. So you got that wake up call, and then I'm going to have to go and release that. I don't have a choice because it's going to make me sick if I don't, and it's not going to be good for me if I don't. So, what do you think?
Well, it seems like the end of the process, which that is encouraging.
It
You
is
know,
encouraging. And
it's-
don't you kind of think the whole corporate body is sort of in that? I mean, you still get to make the choice whether you're going to release it,
True.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But you're
going to come
not,
out one way or the other. It just probably
Yeah.
ain't going to be fun. Go ahead, Jill.
I was going to say, you're not going to be comfortable until you do. I mean, you can hold it, but it's not gonna benefit you because you're gonna be miserable holding it.
It's true. And
Yeah.
it's going to hurt. At some point, it will hurt,
Yeah.
right? And then it's like you don't have a choice but release. It's kind of like Jonah needing to go to Nineveh. And it's like you're going to get there one way or the other, Jonah.
Right.
So you can, hang out in the belly of the whale, come out stinky, or you can go on dry land, but you're going one way or the other. And that happens mostly with, people whose hearts are submitted. But when we haven't gotten to the place that we've worked through things and we're not yet fully submitted, then we get to choose whether we're going to try to hold on to that stuff and allow it to continue to make us sick or not. And that's what it does, makes us sick.
And once it's out in the light, there's no evil power against you. It's only as long as it's in the dark and hidden and protected and guarded that it has any chance to damage. But once it's out in the light and released, you're free. There's a freedom that comes with that.
Right. And all of that acidic, it's uric acid and lots of other, acidic things that come out in your urine. Those are things that have to come out of the organs, organs out of the body. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Once they're in the light, once they're out, they can't do anything to you.
Nope. Yeah, it's really good.
Those mysteries, those nighttime mysteries.
I know, right? The mysteries of God. And he loves the nighttime. I mean, there's something about the nighttime. I mean, he wants to talk to us all during the night because it's when your mind is, my mind is not, hopefully, so busy, right? Just not so busy.
Or so resistant,
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
It's just that in a dream, all of a sudden you're plopped in. Not how did I get here? It's what is the setting,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. What just happened? Go ahead, Jill.
I was thinking that, it's all on a cycle too. I don't know if I'm got the right information or not, but it seems like when you drink something, it's like a 20-minute cycle. And then, you've got to release then, or you should. And also your whole body is set up on a cycle or a system where your blood filters through your whole body and so many minutes or whatever. But also your nighttime is programmed into cycles. And that's, all that processing takes place. And so, the cycle is pretty important. And I was thinking, okay, so if you have a 20-minute cycle, that's expectancy. And, if you don't listen to that, you're going to be in trouble. So,
that's true. And that expectation, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And going back to just, it being about water that's been in the body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the body is not hydrated, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
you're in a lot of trouble. Your health is in a lot of trouble because you can have all kinds of symptoms and it can get extremely dangerous if you're not hydrated. That's a very big deal. Very big deal. Very interesting. Yeah. And those night visions, where we are encountering the Lord in our sleep, that's like a release as well, where we're expressing through engagement with the Spirit of the Lord, where he comes to us and we express our affection for him. We express our submission to him. We go with him places during the night. We're activated, engaging with him during the night. Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. It's a sweet time. Yeah. It's supposed to be a sweet time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then the pillow. Let's talk about the pillow. The pillow is, Jill, you or Darla were talking about this, but the pillow being, that's a support. Your pillow is supposed to be a support. It supports your head and your neck so that, the weaker part of your body is supported because of the weight of your head so that you can rest. So somebody had put a note down there about it being a support.
Yeah, I think Darla mentioned that.
Well, and it reminds me of Jacob at Bethel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Where he said, on this rock will be, special place. It'll be Bethel. Because I had to wrestle the angel of the Lord to get my blessing.
Yeah, his pillow was a rock.
Yeah. It's not too comfortable, I don't imagine.
Yeah. But it probably still was a support.
Yeah.
And we think of the cornerstone and Jesus being the cornerstone of the church and all of that, the foundation. That's a support. That's all a support. Connected to support.
Well, but his head, his mind being on that rock, would have been a future clue, of Jesus being the rock. And he also saw the angels coming up and down. So his head experience, was a big deal. I mean, here, all these years later, we're talking about it still. And so that rock was pretty darn solid, to get, and just all through his mind in the night, quite interesting. So maybe the whole paper being the pillow, is a bazillion different ways of what God is doing in our minds. Because when we think of paper, it's automatically, you write on paper. It's usually blank, so we have scribes that, immediately after expressing, there's an opportunity here, to scribe, to write down what is on your mind, what are the thoughts that God is putting in our heads, and to get up and write them down. That's a big thing that I know it's important to all three of us, and we're pretty good at keeping the students all reminded. You always write down, whether, the digital time, whatever it is the Lord is showing you, because it matters. And as we had a student on not long ago who said, that you go back and read the things that somebody has prophesied to you or that you've dreamed, and you find that common thread of what is going on in your life with your destiny, or confirmation of where you are, what you're doing. But the whole, and there are books written in heaven where, our imaginations, our humanness would say these books were written like paper and, scribed by God, that our days were fashioned, all of them, before there was ever one. So there's a long way for that paper to go.
Well,
As
let's
far
go
as-
back to Jacob and continue to talk about the pillow.
Okay.
Because as you were saying, his head was on the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Let's expound on that instead of going on to something else. That was a really good thought. So he had a lot on his mind because he literally had the gumption to wrestle with the Lord.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to let go of the angel of the Lord until he got a blessing. He had a lot on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he had made up his mind, which is like the rock, that stability. I'm not letting go until I get what I need. Isn't that the way God wants us to interact with him?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to let go until I get what I need.
Yeah.
Now, relationship with him is about interacting with him, but there is a beautiful picture in that his head or his authority and his will were on the rock. And yes, that goes back to Jesus. But he was not going to get out of that place. He was not going to give up until he got what he needed. And because he held on, he was able to encounter the angels ascending and descending. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that because of the battle? Or maybe that was the dream and then he wrestled. Either way, they're tied into one another.
Yeah.
That's
That
the
would
gumption. Go ahead,
that
Jill.
that would be like him peeing all night. He was wrestling with what was going on. I mean, and there was no relief there. He had to
Right.
keep going. And
Right.
there's a verse in Isaiah that I like that says that, come, let us reason together. And the
Yeah.
Lord is always reasoning with us. And because our mindsets are set, and, unless they're challenged by someone or something, we don't ever change. So it's really important that we hear from God. And he does that in the night when we're the most vulnerable, when we're the most unresistant, because he has lots to tell us. And, we just, we kind of get programmed in life, because of the repetition of everything. And so we have to be challenged, occasionally to change that mindset. Something has to move or you don't move at all.
Yeah. And that little wrestling match had to hurt because he limped after that.
Yes. Yeah.
So it made a mark.
Yeah.
So that wrestling match had to be painful. And that's kind of what I wanted to get to as well, is that sometimes that process is painful.
Yeah.
Your perseverance is going to be painful. But if you hang on, you can walk away with the blessing. Yeah,
Yes.
you may walk at a different gate, but you walk away with the blessing. And sometimes, well, we know the biggest blessing is just the true encounter, or just a true encounter, an engagement, face-to-face engagement with the Lord. I mean, what you wouldn't give for that.
Yeah.
And a new name at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So everything changes.
Huh?
So everything changes.
Yeah.
The expression of the toxins go out, the fight goes out, you stand and go through the process, like you said, and we can't even know going into it what the process looks like. That's why it can be so scary and cause us to hesitate. But again, as long as it's a fear or as long as it's in the dark, it has a little bit of a master over us. So
Right. And he went from supplanter
to
Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's Israel mean? I don't remember.
I can Google it.
Should.
We should. We're going to go, oh.
I knew that. We're going to say, I knew that. But yeah, the name change, that's identity.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. Just from laying down and putting his head on a rock and taking a nap. Well, trying to go to sleep. And yeah, you're right, Jill, that wrestling was like the being up all night and expressing, because he was expressing his desire to encounter the Lord in a personal way, in a tangible way.
Well, the name Israel means one who struggles with God, or
There
God
you go.
contends. Boy, that's
And then another one is God perseveres.
God perseveres. So I was going to talk about the perseverance, but that also ties into, what Jill was talking about with the come let us reason together. God already knows what's on your mind. He knows what's in your head. So he's not surprised by the arguments you're going to bring up. He knows where you are. He knows what you're having difficulty with. He knows the challenges in your mind and in your will. He knows all of that. But he likes to reason with us. I think he likes to argue with us a bit. I think he's okay with that. I think he loves any engagement. Go ahead, Jill.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think, when you finally get understanding, that's when the fight ends. And what a relief it is when you get understanding. That changes your whole outlook on life. Even if it's not what you want or like or whatever, but just to understand sometimes is monumental, because not knowing and not understanding can be very frustrating.
Yeah, that gaining understanding. Now when we're in the process, you don't typically have understanding because you're on a need to know basis. But when you get to that place where, as you're saying, Jill, you finally get that it's revelation. You finally get that revelation. It's like, oh, now I understand. Now I get it. Okay, that's what he was doing all along.
Yep.
That's why I have to be awake in the night instead of sleep.
Yeah.
Because if he has the mysterion, if he has the mysterious messages for you in the middle of the night that he doesn't want you to miss, those things, I mean, that's a treasure.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's a treasure. And what a sweet treasure. And then we get to what Darla was talking about with the, you got to write it down. Put what's in your mind onto paper. Her pillow was a piece of paper. The scribes have to
scribble.
Record it.
The vision plain. Right. Record it. Make the vision plain. Write down your dreams. Write down the thoughts that God gives you. A lot of times in the night, he's giving you his thoughts about you. Write those down so that you can look back and see what he says about you. Not just what's in the word, but what did he say to you yesterday? What did he call you yesterday? Did he call you baby girl? I don't want to miss that stuff. I don't want to miss the sweet nothings.
And
That's the
but a
good stuff.
sheet of paper compared to a nice pillow doesn't seem like such a good bargain. But what the yes, what is released in this time definitely is. And yes, what did he obviously he's releasing all the time. I mean, he is giving into us, pouring into us nonstop, constant.
Yeah.
And so if it takes a little discomfort, it's worth it. You know, how we are as people. We want our comfort, and we want things our way. We want to hear our way. But when we listen to him, we get to see more of his heart. Even like reading the word sometimes is so hard to understand some of the things God did. but it shows a heart for purity, and it shows a heart for protection, and a heart of sacrifice as well for us, you know. And here we are, some days clawing through to get through the day, you know, and relying on these things. And how many times do we be in a conversation and think, oh, I just remembered my dream last night, you know, or yeah, I need to write this down because I think I had it in a prophetic reading. But so the sheet of paper being so flat, and I remember the student saying it was uncomfortable. It was flat. It was no pillow. It was just a sheet of paper. So
Yeah, it wasn't as supportive as we would expect.
no, not on the outside. But scribe, you know, I always think of scribble when I hear that word, and how it becomes scribbling, you know, because once you start, no matter if you're just going to write 2 words, you know, or 1 sentence, once you start, you know, it just keeps going. That there's always so much more to it than what is initially perceived. And we remember it as we steward it.
Yeah.
So thank
Well,
goodness
and
for papers.
that becomes what supports your mind and your head. It's
Yes.
when you get that understanding, like Jill was talking about, then that begins to support you in a different way
Yeah.
than a pillow, right? It becomes your pillow. It becomes a support to hold you up and to actually to free your mind from the things that don't need to be there, but to open your mind to the things that do, so that they can come from heaven, like with Jacob, the angels descending and ascending, coming down, giving him messages, and then it is released then onto the paper. Those messages can be extremely important, extremely critical, not only to our lives, but just direction, even in the moment, right? We had so much of that, you know, in our dreams over the weekend, the last couple of weekends with the retreats and all of that. We need that direction. And so much of the direction. I mean, you guys know how many times have we been at a retreat and everybody dreamt something that was actually strategy and direction in how to fight the devil in something, how to keep the land that we were on clean, secure, how to keep all the students secure, how to keep them all, you know, herded, you know, how to keep everybody focused. I mean, all of that direction, so much of the time comes through our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had one right before the retreats that was giving us, direction in just staying focused and making sure that we were careful to deal with distraction.
Yep.
Because once we start focusing on the distraction, the enemy can have a heyday, not only with us, but with everybody at the retreat. And it gets everything off center, off balance. Then somebody had a dream about inline skates, and the Lord was talking about the balance. And then somebody else at the same retreat had a dream about having a white streak down the center of their head. Again, talking about the balance between the right and the left brain, not a separation, but a balance, a cleansing. But the inline skates, it's like, stay in your lane.
Yep. That's good.
That balance. And we can only have that balance when we're focused on what's preeminent rather than the distraction. When we get focused on the distraction, we open a door to the enemy. You guys know that.
Right.
Been there,
Yeah.
done that.
Also takes is one little string, and it can unravel the whole coat,
And
the
it
whole
does.
sweater. Yeah. So
It tends to do exactly that, doesn't it?
yeah. Yep.
And it becomes very frustrating because then it's like somebody throwing a bunch of money in the lake. It's like it all goes different directions and you can't gather it back up again. You can't find it. You can't get to the bottom to get a hold of it all. Once it's in there, it's like it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a crazy little dream.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Actually, it was very funny. What you can get from the dream, what he's saying is pretty major, and so often it's those little ones that really get you. There's so much in them.
I know we always look at them and go, well, that's going to be easy. The students do that. That's going to be easy. And then they get into the lesson. It's like, oh my gosh. You got to dig. Sometimes you got to dig deeper because those short ones always have a lot there. A lot there. It's like the longer dreams, sometimes with lots and lots and lots of detail. Sometimes the detail is important, as you guys know, and other times it's not. So sometimes the detail is even a distraction to keep you from the preeminent points, those focal points that you're really needing to look at. But for the dreamer, it's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. They can't decide what needs my focus, what needs my attention. So sometimes those have very straightforward messages, and the really short ones have really deep, crazy, layered messages.
Well, and it's interesting too how this one started out by I was peeing all night. Well, you read that and think, well, this is going to be a negative dream. But the reality is it wasn't. It was a good process that is very near and dear to our every day. I mean, nobody goes without peeing all day and all night. So the reality is that he has opened more doors to cleanse, to filter.
Yeah.
And she was saying, and that there's the bigger dreams, the longer dreams with more detail seem like they almost close doors. Either they open them so wide that you can't possibly connect the dots, or they begin to close, the spread, I guess, of where we sometimes go when we look at dreams.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a dream. Just a couple seconds in the night.
I love those dreams where you just hear one statement and you're like, okay. I mean, but it's nothing more than just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or a song or a number.
Yeah, and there was actually a song that was connected to this dream.
Oh yeah.
What's it
Yeah, it
called? What's
was.
it called? What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up? What's going on?
But the line was, yeah, what's going on? It was, yeah. Yeah. And so that was a call to look, what is going on? And some of it was right in the lyrics of that song, for our
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah. And that happens a lot. He'll give you a song and then you look at the lyrics and you're like, oh, okay.
Mm.
There it is. There it is. Whoop, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going
Yes. It's all a mystery. I love mysteries. Finding out, how God is talking, how he wants to interact with you. And it's that digging deeper, just enough to tease you into wondering what he's saying. So you got to go deeper. He knows how to do it.
on? He does, doesn't he? And he's wooing you.
Yes, he is.
He's romancing you. He's pulling you. He's drawing you in. Drawing you in like the Song of Songs, peeping at you.
Yep.
He's so funny. And so much fun.
Yes.
It's so weird and out there. That's what I like about him. He's weird and he's out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not like anybody else you've ever met, right?
Nope.
No.
I think he knows that we love a good mystery. We love a good challenge. I think he's put that in the majority of us. And he likes being in the treasure hunt with us.
Yep.
It must delight him.
Yeah. He says, you don't really want to sleep. You want to wake up, have an adventure.
Hang out with me.
You what? Did you say?
I said, hang out with me. He said,
Yeah.
hang out with me.
Yes.
Talk to me. Let's play.
Yeah.
Let's write. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Or let's war. Whatever it is he's calling you to.
That's hard. Yeah.
Nothing like a good fight. They can all be fun, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Put on your cowboy boots in the middle of the night and get your stomp on.
Yeah.
Who was it? Kirk Franklin did a song years ago. I think it was Kirk Franklin called Stomp or something like that. I might be confused. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. Anyway, it's a good song.
Hadn't heard that one.
You have heard it?
No, I haven't.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm pretty sure that's a funny one. I mean, it's a good one. It's a, yeah, comes up. Stomp, Kirk Franklin. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to look that one up because it's a good one. You'll enjoy it.
Okay.
You will enjoy it. Well, anything else, ladies? I think, isn't that the shortest dream we've done so far? Go ahead, Jill.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm good. I can't think of anything that we might have missed.
I think we wrung it out pretty good.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, we were up
Well,
all night.
right. There you go. There you go. Well, thank you guys for being here. We so appreciate you. We so love you. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're so inclined. We would appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great one.
Bye.